Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a absolutely amazing day so far. So today, what I want to go ahead and today's topic is all about mistakes, your greatest steps forward. Now, what do I mean by that specifically? One of the key things, or one of the main reasons why a lot of people are very fearful of take action in terms of what they truly want to do is because of mistakes. We're all fearful of making a big mistake. We're all fearful of something not going according to plan. Something that, for lack of a better word, is an unintended consequence of our actions, and because we do that particular consequence, we look a little foolish. Now, I'm here to tell you that is an absolutely understandable reason. It's a very understandable viewpoint when you look at it. Like, who wants to make a mistake? I'll tell this from experience. Making a mistake is absolutely awful. I mean, I can always go back to some of the things that I've gone back in my life, and I kind of shake my head and say, well, why did I do that? Why did I actually go ahead and do it, knowing full well how much that blew up in my face. Now, a lot of that time, when a mistake does happen, when we get into this mistake, we get into this shell, we get into this armor saying, well, because that mistake was made, I never want to go ahead and I want to do that again. I never want to open myself up to new ideas. I don't want to open myself up to new people. I don't want to open myself up to new things, do new activities. Focus on something that I really enjoy doing, because man, what if I make that mistake? What if I make myself a fool? What if and the list goes on and on, right? But I will say this. As I've mentioned, your mistakes, if you think about it, without those mistakes, would you be able to have the wisdom that you have right now? Let's go back to, early childhood, right? When we were babies, right? We didn't just as babies just get up and start running. We had to crawl first. And then after, we learned to crawl, we were wanting to walk. So by walking, we didn't just get it on the first try, right? I most definitely did not start with perfect straight A's in terms of walking when I first started. I fell on my butt many a time until, one day, instead of me just crawling, attempting to walk and stumbling, I was actually just kind of taking my first steps, and then suddenly that became such a routine that I was then able to go ahead and really start walking like a pro, and then I was able to go ahead and start running like a pro, and then so on and so forth. But again, we have those times where we stumble. We have those times where we do indeed fall on our faces. At the end of the day, we're not given this manual on how to do life. We're not given this manual on how to live your life. We all have to go ahead and kind of learn it without a book. Kind of have to learn it without all the information given to us at once. We kind of have to learn life as we go along, day by day, as if we were that newborn baby when we were born. Just stumbling, bumbling around and figuring things out. But with understanding that mistakes are a part of this process, and reading Robert Kiyosaki's book, Why the Rich Get Richer, and there's this important lesson by Rich Dad that he teaches Robert, which is mistakes are part of the process. I can even go back to, something a little bit more not baby specific. There are times where, I say things, or I have done things in the past that, looking back at it, was a mistake. And it's an embarrassing mistake. Something that, for one person can perceive it as shame. One person can perceive it as, oh man, I never want to do that again. But mistakes are a way of needing to learn what you didn't learn before. When you first, don't do it, it is a, shameful, oh my goodness, all the emotions come out and it's awful, it's terrible when it first happens. And then you realize, wait, what did I actually learn in this process? Or what was I able to do better now that I've gone through this mistake? And, you always are able to, people will tell you not to do this or not to do that, but I do believe that experience is the best teacher when it comes to these sort of things. We can read all the books that we want, we can read all the speeches that we want, but unless we start doing the actions, until we actually take the moves, we take the experience, we go after it, and we make those mistakes, you're never going to learn. I'll even go back to some of my relationships. I don't tell this story a whole lot, but there was a time in one of my first relationships that I made a terrible mistake. And looking back at it now, some of these events had to unravel the way they did because of things that are able to allow both parties to move forward in the right direction towards unlimited prosperity, abundance, and love, right? But that relationship, right? I made some terrible mistakes. I remember how actually one of the last couple of days of that relationship ended. I'm not going to get too much into the gory details because that's not important. But I'll say this. I ended up almost talking to somebody and almost cheating on this particular person. Now, I was already caught up too much in order to do the cheating per se, but that was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. That relationship had to end, and I realized that some of the behaviors and some of the tendencies that contributed to that ending of the relationship, I had to stop doing. In my opinion, just observing and sitting, right? And it goes for all forms of life. It goes for all aspects of life. At the end of the day, you have to take control of your own life. You can model some of the people that are out there. You can model the greats. But ultimately, it is your own path that you can go ahead and forge. You cannot follow the path of somebody else, nor should you. Again, we're all on our unique way towards what we want to pursue in life. Now, again, I do believe in those three key words, but that's going to look a lot that's going to mean something different to everybody here. And in order to even get on that path and start going and start really being able to collect the things that you want, then yes, you need to get over your fear of mistakes. Because without those mistakes, you're never going to be able to see what lies beyond. You're never going to experience the wisdom that you can collect, the lessons you can learn, the movement forward that ultimately allows you to fulfill your most deepest desires. So with that being said, everybody, hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. And of course, before we go, I've got 3 very important words for you. Be great, be favored, and be the person that you desire, that you're destined to become. Thank you.